Lizzie Gorman.
Alright, so what made you first want to get into radio?
Probably around junior year of high school, my aunt, who is my mom's youngest sister, she was working for Discovery Channel, and she did that for like 15 years probably, and she switched to Greater Media Boston in Cambridge, which owns 5 or 6 radio stations, and so for like bringing her not daughter, sister's daughter to work day, I went in and got to meet all the DJs and everything, and that time in my life I was going through a phase of like being obsessed with local bands and just any House of Blue concert, any Anchors Up concerts, anything. And so I really wanted to get involved in music, and that was the first channel I saw, like, was through radio. And so my aunt really influenced me. And then so I was looking at colleges. Had a college with a radio was one of my requirements. So I looked at UMass Amherst, and I looked at UMass Dartmouth too, and UNH. So I came down here, and then I had to join it, obviously. So I did it my sophomore year.
Is there like a certain radio station or a show that you like love to work on?
Yeah, one that my aunt works for, it's 92.9. It's like, call it alternative rock, but they, I listen to it at work. They have an acoustic segment from 1 to 5, which is great because at work I get to listen to it. And they also do a 90s, every Saturday is 90s music, which is awesome. So that kind of thing, but I would also really like to work for at some point in my life, like a country station, just because that environment is insane, and I would love to live down south and have like a generic, like just typical country station and do like country shows and things. Yeah, that is it.
What would you say is your favorite type of music?
I don't know. That's really hard. I really try to like everything. I get to a point where some things I just have to admit I don't like it, but anything with a guitar, I'll probably like it.
Have you recorded your first show?
Yes, I did last night, and the system crashed, so I lost an hour, and I had to do it all over again. But I persevered and I did it, so it's going to be aired tomorrow morning at 4 a.m. So if anyone's awake, take a listen.
Would you rather work in your own show or like work with someone else, like together?
I think when I graduate, if I were to work at a radio station, I don't want to be a DJ. I think I'm just taking up an opportunity because the DJ training is simple, it was 6 weeks and you got a show, so why not? But for a career, I would like to work more so on like publicity and reaching the community and that kind of thing. So I don't think I would need someone. I would be on a team. I wouldn't be like, it would be a solo thing. I'd be working with people.
That was my other question. I was gonna ask if you want to do that.
There are 3.5 minutes.
Like, what would be like your dream?
I think if I were to do that, I would need to change after a while because I like radio and like working for this station. I've learned that I don't necessarily want that to be my career, but because I've worked in the radio, I've seen that I want to maybe work for something that does festivals or events, but something that also helps the community. So my dream job would be I would have to work for a Global Citizen because they host these huge concerts in New York, and they raise awareness on the money, goes to like tons of different countries, and it's home based too. We help out ourselves with education and just health and just a variety of things. So that would be dream, absolute dream. Want to read your name to the camera?
P.O. Romano.
Okay, Pia. First and foremost, what truly got you interested in shamanism?
So, what really got me into shamanism, first and foremost, really
kind of inspired me was a spiritual experience I had senior year. It definitely changed my whole viewpoint on my life, my past, my future. It kind of really put my future into perspective for me. I had originally wanted to be a history teacher. It was kind of, thinking back, it was kind of a half-hearted decision, and through the spiritual experience I had, I really felt like I reconnected with myself, and that's what really sparked my interest in shamanism.
That's awesome. So, with that said, where has shamanism taken you today? Like, where do you want to go now with it?
Yeah, well, with that being said, I came to school. I switched from history to journalism with alternative medicine focus, and I happened to get into this independent study with a traditional healer out of Shrewsbury who was running a course called Modern Day Shamanism. Now, I took this course thinking, you know, I'm going to learn all about shamanism, we're going to talk about ethnogens and all these different plants. And while we did do that, it was so much more of a internal kind of thing, really bringing out the healing power within everybody. And just being in that class, sitting there, meeting all of them, it was like 25, 30 people, being able to sit down in that kind of environment and in that community sense where everybody was open and understanding and so loving is what really kind of made me, kind of really solidified that for me, kind of made me,
That's awesome.
yeah.
That's
Like,
really cool.
and that kind of community isn't really something that you find in many
Right.
places. So to come to university and to find that little niche really just made me feel all that much more comfortable and confident in this path that I'm trying to take.
That's awesome.
Mm.
Do we have time for one more, or? Yeah.
Yes, one more.
Alright. So this is like just a curiosity of mine. With shamanism, are psychedelics involved, or is this a whole natural, just controlling your mind?
Right, which is a great question, because to be perfectly honest with you, that was my first kind of jumping off point was with psilocybin mushrooms. Psychedelics is kind of a funny word. Ethnogens is a much more appropriate word, I feel. Ethnogen meaning to awaken the divine within. And I think that that's what those plants do. There's many of them. And I think that they absolutely play an integral part in shamanism. However, it's not exclusive to that. Shamanism has been practiced for thousands of years all over the world.
Yeah, I was surprised researching it how old it is.
Right. And things, it varies. Maybe it's ethnogen use, maybe it's meditation or fasting or dancing or song. So there's so many ways to achieve altered states of consciousness.
It's like channeling.
Right, which is what shamanism really is achieving altered states of consciousness. Shamans are believed to be able to be in contact with that spirit world and be able to kind of go back and forth and communicate what they see or learn in the spirit world and kind of apply it here. So yes, absolutely, ethnogens is definitely something that's used.
Very cool. I just learned a lot. Wow, that was great.
Yay, okay, so let's stop with.
This is Lauren Gibney, and I'm going to ask her a couple questions about her study abroad trip to Barcelona. So first of all, where did you stay when you went to Barcelona? Was it like an immersion, or was it dorms, apartments?
I chose to stay in an apartment, and I had 2 other roommates. And while we tried to speak Spanish, we weren't completely immersed in the language, other than, communicating with people on the street, taxis, and restaurants. So.
While you were there, did you do any sightseeing?
I did a lot of sightseeing. there's an architect, his name's Antoni Gaudí. Barcelona was his playground. You know, he did Park Güell, La Pedrera, and he's also working on La Sagrada Familia, or before he died, which is still being worked on today. And all of his works are amazing. And you know, there's just so much to see in Barcelona. There's so much you could do during any amount of time that you spend there. So I always had something different to do every day.
Did you have a lot of free time while you were there, or was it all like your work and?
It wasn't
classes?
so much. My classes were basically in the mornings. I had one class that was at night, but it was only once a week. So each of the classes typically met once a week, and in the morning hours. And then in Spain, everybody has like a downtime between like 2 and like 4 o'clock, I believe. And most people take a siesta during that time, or a nap. Others, you know, they have long lunches. You know, they enjoy their time with people. So I did have a lot of free time to walk around, see stuff, go shopping. Yeah.
When you were there, did you go to any other countries?
I did. I went to Italy. That was with the program.
Yeah.
But I didn't have exactly enough funds to go anywhere else. You know, it's really cheap to travel in any country that you go to once you're in Europe. But I only went to Rome, and then I went to the Canary Islands for spring break, which is just like
Right off of Portugal, right?
right.
Is there anywhere you would have gone that you didn't go?
Oh yeah, I would have gone to Ireland, Paris, Belgium, Czech Republic, anywhere. You know, my list goes on forever.
Would you recommend doing it to somebody else that was thinking about going abroad?
Absolutely, I would recommend it to anybody with any interest in travel or language or different culture, because I just learned so much, and you meet so many new people. It's awesome.
Would you recommend Barcelona, or is there another place that you would say to go to?
Well, I'm biased just because I love Barcelona and I love the language and culture, but a lot of people I know had fun in all countries. You know, anywhere, any city that you go to, I think is going to be your own personal experience based off of your interests. So.
If you could do it all over again, is there anything you would change?
There's some things I would change, but probably prepare a little more financially so I could be able to travel more. And yeah, that's about it.
How was the food over there?
Amazing. The food there, there's this thing called, there's like an open air market. It's called La Bocaria. And all the vendors from the city, they come together and they sell all their goods, like vegetables. There's like a smoothie making place, fruits, spices. There was a fish market, seafood stuff. You could get anything, and anything there. There was no really processed foods, so everything was fresh, and it was really